know. You never know.
Alright, hey folks, I'm David Olney. This is You Never Know. Dreary day, but it's fall and the colors and the leaves is beautiful, but there's just no sun out today. So it kind of puts you in a foul mood. Okay, what happened? I don't know this past week. It says we fell back. That's the time zone thing. Okay, you know who I saw? I saw Steve Dawson and Linda McRae play down at the 5 Spot last week. And Linda McRae I've played some things with, I think at Folk Alliance, and maybe there's some gigs up in Canada I think maybe I did with her. But anyway, she played and she was really, really good. And Steve Dawson was backing her up, and I think he's produced a record with her. And then Steve Dawson played, and he was great. I mean, this guy is can really play. And he got Fats Kaplan up, and it was really very musical. And I've been going out to his studio and doing some stuff out there, so hopefully at some point that'll come out. Okay, what's coming up? Thursday, November 9th, Bowery Station in Apalachicola. November 10th, USLR presents in Fogartyville in Sarasota. Saturday, November 11th, Veterans Day, Our Kind of Folk in Palm Harbor. And Sunday, November 12th, the Pretty Cool House Concerts in St. Augustine. Okay, November 11th is Veterans Day. That's when November 11th is the Armistice Day that ended World War I. World War I officially ended on November 11th, 11/11 at 11 a.m. What are the chances? They probably just thought, wow, if we do this at 11 a.m., that'll be 3/11s. And they left the war running for a few extra hours. God knows how many people we killed just because it looked good on paper. Just booked Thursday, November 16th at the Bardstown in Louisville, Kentucky with Danny Flanagan and Tommy Womack. And Tommy and I are doing another show on November 19th at Natalie's in Columbus, Ohio. And then later, November 30th in St. Louis, and December 1st in Harrison, Arkansas, and December 2nd at the Little Rock Folk Club. And you can check all this out at davidolney.com. Okay, one more view of the kid versus the alligator. It looks like the alligator's about to eat me. In fact, I'm totally in control of this situation, as I am of all situations. Okay, I wanted to, I'm still thinking about my trip up to New York and running into this guy, Jerome Degot. That's his pseudonym. His real name is John George Wolfgang Lasko, and he's the guy, poet, I ran into on the street. He was panhandling, and he's really good. It's a tough time for poets, I guess. And I read one last week, and here's another one. This is called Walking on Air. If you come to see me in the circus and it rains, or if the big top starts to sag as the clowns begin to cry, and your tears are fragrant roses, the sun will be imprisoned by the clouds, while the shadows of the past are lifted where you sit alone and wait for me, where the music plays and the leaves of autumn fall. Do not think of me again, or wish that I would come, for I'll be with you. Yes, I will, and you will feel me in the wind. That's, you never know. That's why I call this show that. You never know what's going on with people. I always try to think, whoever I'm talking to, if I just, in casual run-ins with people, I always say, I try to think, where were they 30 minutes before? I don't know why they're acting this way now, whether it's acting nice or acting badly, but 30 minutes before may explain why they are the way they are. But you don't know what it is, so you have to kind of play it by ear. All right, so once upon a time, a few weeks ago, I started doing these songs that were recitations, and I wanted to do one more, and this is a new one, and I hope I remember it. For years, the symbol for something that was totally impossible, could not happen, was the black swan. And it goes back to Roman times, this Roman writer Euphenal. I think that's where they first, rara avis, rare bird. And the rare bird was a black swan. It just never happens. Okay, sometime in the 1800s, two Dutchmen were wandering around in Australia, and lo and behold, they see a black swan. There's black swans in Western Australia. And so it becomes, instead of a symbol for something that doesn't exist, that can't exist, it became the symbol for something that you think doesn't exist, but actually does, and you can't prepare for it because you can't even conceive of what it is. And now, something like 9/11, or a huge, the 1,000-year flood or something like that, weather catastrophes are sometimes referred to as a black swan because they were out there, you just didn't know they were going to happen. So, here we go, Black Swan. Made this up with John Hadley and Annie McCue, who was from Australia. Picture in your mind something that you'll never see. Well, that's an impossible impossibility. There's no proof. There's no evidence. Okay. Imagine something that doesn't exist. A cosmic void with a New York twist. No past, no present, no future tense. A black swan. Black swan. Well, when trouble came, I took off running. I got blindsided, I never saw it coming. I never saw it coming. I never saw it go. Well, it felt like an earthquake. It hit like a bomb. It wasn't no test, no false alarm, no, this was the real thing. And it wasn't no show. It was a black swan. It was a black swan. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. try to pull him up, he tries to pull you down. One man's hell is another man's heaven. Paradise, 9/11, one-way ticket to the great beyond. It's a black swan. Yeah. Black swan. Black swan on the horizon. Black swan. Keep your eyes on the black swan. Yeah, yeah. Well, a black swan on the horizon, a black swan. Keep your eyes on a black swan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Black Swan. Yeah. Let me see if the. Yeah, Annie McCue's from Australia, and this hat is from Australia. This hat is an Akura. I don't know if you can see inside there, but a Kubra hats from Australia. I got it on Flinders Street in Melbourne, next to the train station, and it was a black swan. Okay, that's all I got. I'll see you next week. Have a good time.
You never know